Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am painting another flower. There is something special about the moment right before you start painting. Your brush is wet, loaded with color, hovering over the blank paper. Then you make the first touch and suddenly the color comes alive. It spreads across the paper like it has a mind of its own, creating soft feathery edges that you could never plan perfectly. That's the magic of watercolor. It moves and flows in ways that surprise you. Watch how the paint behaves differently depending on how much water you use. A really wet brush makes the color spread fast and far, creating light, see-through washes. Less water gives you more control, but even then the paint has its own ideas. Sometimes it bleeds outside the lines you imagined, creating beautiful accidents that often turn out better than what you had planned. That's not a mistake. That's watercolor just being watercolor. The best part is layering. You can start with light colors, almost like you're just hinting at the painting to come. Then as each layer dries, you add more. The colors build up slowly, getting deeper and richer, but unlike other paints, watercolor stays see-through. Even the darkest shade lets some light through, which gives watercolor paintings that special glow you can't get in any other way. Notice how colors mix right on the paper. If you put blue next to yellow while both are wet, they'll flow together and make green in the most natural way possible. The paint does some of the work for you, creating blends and gradients that would be hard to make on purpose. That's why watercolor is great for painting nature. It behaves like nature does, never perfect, always interesting. As you paint, the weight of the paper becomes just as important as the colors you add. Those blank spaces aren't empty, they're the light in your painting. Watercolor artists know when to leave areas untouched, letting the paper shine through. It's like the painting breathes through those white spaces. Even when you think you're done, the painting isn't done with you. As it dries, colors change slightly. They might get darker as the water evaporates, or edges might sharpen up. Sometimes you'll see the little blooms or backgrounds where the paint moved in unexpected ways as it dries. These aren't flaws, they're little signatures from the watercolor itself. Proof that you worked with the paint instead of trying to completely control it. That's the real lesson of watercolor. It's not about making something perfect, it's about enjoying the process. The way the water carries the pigment, the way colors mix on their own, the happy accidents that turn into beautiful effects. All of it reminds us that art doesn't have to be tight or controlled to be good. Some of the most stunning watercolor paintings are loose and free, full of life because they weren't overworked. When you paint with watercolors, you're not just making art, you're having a conversation with your materials. The paint talks back to you, suggesting new directions. The water changes everything with how much or how little you use. The paper texture affects how the color looks. All these elements work together, and your job is to guide them rather than force them. That's why watercolor is so relaxing. You can't rush it. The paint dries at its own pace. You can't force it. The water will go where it wants. All you can do is set up the conditions for something beautiful to happen. Then enjoy watching it unfold. It's like gardening. You plant the seed, or in this case, make the first brushstroke, but nature decides exactly how everything grows. The finished painting always holds surprises. Areas where the colors mixed in ways you didn't plan, edges that softened beautifully, texture that appeared on their own. These aren't mistakes, they're proof that you worked with the medium instead of against it. They're what makes your painting unique, something no one else could recreate exactly. There's a magic of watercolor. It's not just about the picture you end up with, it's about the journey of creating it. The way you have to stay present and pay attention because the paint is always moving and changing. The way you learn to let go of perfect control and embrace the beautiful surprises. The way each painting teaches you something new about how water and color work together. So the next time you paint, remember you're not just making art, you're playing with one of the most alive, responsive art materials there is. You're collaborating with the water, the pigment, and the paper to create something that couldn't exist without all of you working together. And that's what makes watercolor so special. Every painting has a little miracle of chemistry, physics, and creativity all happening right before your eyes. And there we go, and that's my finished painting. Thanks for watching. Bye.